What's up, guys? So, if I did what I was supposed to do, this is the second video of today, and I thought I would go over the mistakes I made with this build that I need to now correct before I can really move forward, because otherwise I'm going to have to break it all down and start over. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So the first mistake on this list is going to be the control panel. So all the wiring has to come through down there. The problem is some, like the two power heads I have, won't reach through all the way through the stand, down through the sump area, out, and then up to where I could mount the controllers where I wanted to, which would be at the top. Also, I can pretty much only use this style of power strip that has the outlets that, if it'll do it, there we go, that can turn, because I can't plug things in straight or the cabinet door will not fit on. Now, those may seem like little problems, but once you actually go under the stand, you will see that there's just enough room for me to get my fingers in there. Which means I can't run any new wires through there. So that was not the best design of a control panel. It's not deep enough. I now am going to have to drill another hole at the top of the control panel. I'll probably drill it like here so that I can run some wires through, probably the ATO through. I'm not sure exactly, but the way it is not going to work. I also need to run the lights to an outlet somehow, which that is my outlet back there. If I need to run another power strip, it's accessible, but not the easiest thing to get to. Also, I don't know if I'm going to try to plug in a small surge protector power strip into the outlet, put the cover back on, and have that power strip outside behind the stand. So hopefully that works out. Okay, so for the second mistake, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but it's this notch back here that I cut in the top to allow the plumbing to pass through down into the sump. It seemed like a good idea, and quite honestly I don't know how else I would have done it, but the problem is that it's not big enough, and it's very tight to try to run wires down through, and I had planned on going soft plumbing the whole way, but the vinyl tubing was bending and kinking around the multiple turns it had to make, so that didn't end up working out. I had to switch it to hard plumbing. I mean, long story short, I don't mind the hard plumbing. I think that was a good idea, but the notch should have been bigger. I don't think at this point in time it's fixable, but I may have to drill some holes in order to run some of the wiring through for the power heads, and depending on how the lights get mounted, those might have to be run through the stand as well. We shall see. While we're talking about this, we will jump into my plumbing mistakes. This needs to be changed from a ball valve to a gate valve. I can't get a fine enough adjustment to where it is trickling down the emergency overflow, but we have a full siphon over here. What happens is it ends up pulling more water from the tank than it's putting back, and I just can't seem to get it perfectly tuned, where with a gate valve you have much more adjustment. Also, with the plumbing, I should have added hard plumbing here and put a manifold. I mean, this pump that's in here, the Eheim 1260, is not really powerful enough to run anything else. At this point in time, I'm not running anything else, but I'd like to have the option in the future to upgrade the pump and have those connections of a plumbing manifold. So I think at some point I will add that, but at this point in time it's not one of the things that has to be fixed immediately, like the control panel, which I need to fix so I can install the Tunes ATO that I have. Alright, so my last two complaints with this build involve the stand. I custom built this stand so that it could be built the way I wanted it to, and unfortunately I had started with blueprints, but the design I had wasn't going to work. It would have worked, but this design is better, it can handle more weight. The problem is when I switched the design to handle more weight, I didn't redo the blueprints and actually go through everything to make sure my measurements and plans were going to work the way I wanted it to. Originally, the stand would have been taller, giving me more room underneath. As you can see, everything's pretty tight from the top of that tank to the top of the opening. I want to say it's about 10 inches maybe, tops. But I also probably should have gone with a 20-gallon long instead of this 29. But this 29 was given to me. I think at some point, I mean, Petco has their $1 per gallon sale right now, so I might just go pick up a 20 long and then have my local glass company cut some more baffles for that sump, and I will eventually switch it over. That would give me an extra 6 inches of space to work with, so I think that would be probably a pretty good upgrade to come next. I would have to change some of my plumbing, but overall I think it's a necessary upgrade. Now the second, and this is going to be hard to see, but I knew the stand wasn't going to be level because my floors aren't level, but the top actually dips down in the middle, so the whole weight of the tank, which should be sitting on the frame, is not sitting on the frame. So as you can see, we're touching here on the corner, and then we're not touching. Kind of touching here. And then we're touching. And we're tight the rest of the way. So pretty much from here down to almost that corner. Alright, so those are the mistakes I made with this build that I now have to try to correct. Hopefully you learned from what I did wrong here and you don't make the same mistakes I did. I have a few other ideas I was thinking about making videos on if you guys are interested. One of them would be 5 mistakes to avoid Another one would be things to consider before starting an aquarium. So if you guys are interested, let me know either in the comments, or you're more than welcome to shoot me a message on Instagram. The links will be in the description below. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.